The year is 1739. The place is South Carolina. A man named Jemmy, a slave from the Congo Kingdom of Africa, is about to make history. He is leading a group of enslaved Africans in a desperate bid for freedom. This is the Stono Rebellion, the largest slave uprising in the 13 colonies. It is a story of courage and desperation, a testament to the unyielding human desire for liberty. The Stono Rebellion was not an isolated incident. Throughout the history of slavery in the United States, enslaved Africans resisted their bondage in countless ways. From major uprisings to quiet acts of defiance, they fought back against a system that sought to dehumanize and exploit them. These acts of resistance, both large and small, are a crucial part of American history. The motivations behind these acts of rebellion were clear. Enslaved Africans yearned for the basic human rights denied to them: freedom, dignity, and self-determination. They risked everything to challenge the brutal institution of slavery. Their stories deserve to be remembered and honored. Their fight for liberation paved the way for the abolition of slavery and the ongoing struggle for racial justice in America. The Stono Rebellion was one of many instances where enslaved Africans rose up against their oppressors. In 1741, fear gripped New York City during the alleged slave conspiracy. Fires erupted, fueling paranoia and accusations of a planned uprising by enslaved Africans. In 1800, Gabriel Prosser, a literate blacksmith, meticulously planned a revolt in Richmond, Virginia. Inspired by the American, French, and Haitian revolutions, Prosser envisioned a different future. His plan involved seizing the city's armory and taking Governor James Monroe hostage. A thunderstorm and betrayal led to the capture and execution of Prosser and his followers. In 1811, the German Coast Uprising, led by Charles de Laune, erupted near New Orleans. This uprising, the largest in U.S. history, involved hundreds of enslaved people inspired by the Haitian Revolution. Though unsuccessful, the rebellion shook Southern society and highlighted the potential for enslaved people to fight back. In 1831, Nat Turner, driven by religious visions, led a bloody revolt in Southampton County, Virginia. Turner's rebellion, though crushed, sent shockwaves through the South. It intensified the debate over slavery and led to stricter slave codes, solidifying the resolve of abolitionists in the North. While major uprisings like the Stono Rebellion and Nat Turner's revolt shook Southern society, enslaved Africans also engaged in everyday resistance. These acts, though less dramatic, chipped away at slavery. They were subtle protests, often invisible to slaveholders. Work slowdowns were common. Enslaved people would work slowly, feign illness, or break tools. Escape was another form of resistance. Some engaged in temporary escapes to visit loved ones or gather information. Acts of sabotage and arson inflicted economic damage. These acts serve as a testament to the burning desire for freedom. The rebellions and acts of resistance carried out by enslaved Africans had a profound impact on American society. They exposed the inherent brutality of slavery and challenged the myth of the contented slave. Each act of defiance, no matter how small, chipped away at the foundation of the institution. These acts of resistance also galvanized the abolitionist movement. News of slave revolts, often sensationalized in newspapers, spread throughout the North, fueling the arguments of those who opposed slavery. Abolitionists used these events to highlight the horrors of slavery and to demand its immediate end. The legacy of these rebellions extends far beyond the antebellum period. They serve as a powerful reminder of the human capacity for resistance in the face of oppression. They are a testament to the courage and determination of those who fought for freedom and equality, inspiring future generations to continue the struggle for justice. The echoes of their rebellion can still be heard today in the ongoing fight for racial equality and social justice in America. Gap 3S. The history of African Americans is not only marked by resistance and rebellion, but also by the creation of thriving communities and the tragic destruction of these successes. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, African Americans established prosperous cities such as Tulsa's Greenwood District, often referred to as Black Wall Street. These communities were centers of culture, business, and progress. Gap 2S. However, these successes were often met with violent backlash. The Tulsa Race Massacre of 1921 saw the destruction of Black Wall Street, with white mobs burning homes and businesses, resulting in significant loss of life and property. Similar race riots occurred in cities like Rosewood, Florida, and East St. Louis, Illinois. where African American communities faced brutal attacks. Gap 2S. Before arriving in the United States, many Africans were first taken to the Caribbean. This was part of the transatlantic slave trade, where enslaved Africans were transported across the Atlantic Ocean to work on plantations in the Caribbean before being brought to the American colonies. This journey was marked by unimaginable suffering and loss of life. Gap 2S. These events highlight the resilience and determination of African Americans in the face of systemic oppression. Their stories of building and rebuilding despite the odds are a testament to their enduring spirit and the ongoing fight for justice and equality. Gap 2S. The history of African Americans is also marked by forced displacements and expulsions that have left lasting scars on communities. One of the most notorious instances of this is the Exoduster movement of the late 19th century. Facing severe racial violence and economic hardship in the South, nearly 40,000 African Americans migrated to Kansas, seeking safety and opportunities to build new lives. This mass migration was a testament to their resilience and hope for a better future. Gap 2S. In the early 20th century, the Great Migration saw over 6 million African Americans move from the rural South to urban centers in the North and West. This movement was driven by the search for better economic opportunities and escape from Jim Crow laws. However, even in these new locations, African Americans faced significant challenges, including discrimination in housing and employment. Gap 2S. During the 1960s and 1970s, urban renewal projects often led to the displacement of African American communities. In cities like Detroit and Chicago, entire neighborhoods were demolished to make way for highways and new developments, displacing thousands of residents. These projects disrupted established communities and contributed to the economic disenfranchisement of African Americans. Gap 2S. Another example is the expulsion of African American residents from Forsyth County, Georgia in 1912. Following allegations of a white woman's assault, white mobs drove out over 1,000 African Americans from the county, seizing their properties and forcing them to leave with little more than the clothes on their backs. Gap 2S. These forced displacements were not isolated incidents but part of a broader pattern of systemic racism and economic exploitation. They highlight the ongoing struggle of African Americans to claim and maintain their rightful place in society. Despite these challenges, African American communities have continuously shown incredible resilience, rebuilding and thriving in the face of adversity. Their stories are a powerful reminder of the enduring fight for justice and equality.